Welcome to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main. He is president of Main Financial Group, as well as joined by Adam Freund. He is certified retirement counselor with Main Financial Group. To our viewers at home, this is a very special episode. We know in the viewing audience in Michigan, you love this show every single week, and we love to see the loyal viewers send emails in and questions for these gentlemen. So today's show, viewers at home, I want to tell you, is very special because it's dedicated just to you, and we're going to be answering some very interesting and very thought-provoking questions on today's show. Jordan, how are you?
I am great. Glad to be here. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. And Adam, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. But you know what we wanted to do with today's show, because this is such a special show for us, because we love to see what the viewers do. We really wanted to go all out on this one, didn't we?
My first idea was the wheel, the Price is Right. Remember that?
Oh,
we would have a
yes.
different email section, and you could spin it, and we would just answer on the fly. But they cut us out our budget. They wouldn't let us. What was our second idea?
Well, a Wheel of Fortune, and actually we were going to bring in Vanna White, but yeah, she was too expensive too. So.
Sorry, Vanna, it's me today.
But we're happy for having you.
Yes,
for sure.
of course.
I love it. Well, I think this is amazing because we know that you have fans all over the state of Michigan, and we want to thank you, viewers at home, for watching every single week and for sending in some of these questions because they are amazing. So I want to spend some time really getting through them. Would that be okay if we just dive in?
Sure.
Sounds
All
great.
right. So this first one, Jordan, this is actually for you. This is John D. from South Lyon. He says, I work for one of the big three, and I have been offered an early retirement package. I'm a 55-year-old engineer, and I'm unsure if I should take the offer. What do you recommend I should do? I feel too young to retire.
This is a very common one we see in Metro Detroit because of all the automotive companies located, Ford and General Motors and Stellantis, which is the old Chrysler. Right. And a lot of times they offer buyouts for people in their 50s or they've been there so many years, usually more than 25 years. And they usually will offer maybe a year's salary. Maybe they'll even bump you up a little bit on your vesting schedule for pensions or for options, stock options and things. So, but it's very hard to make that decision if you don't have a financial plan. And we go through, so John from South Lyon, are you married? Does your spouse work? What is in your 401k? Do you have a pension or not? Sometimes in the automotive world, if you've been there long enough, you might have a pension from the past. The newer employees don't have those pensions. So there's a lot to take into consideration. And then you have to look at the tax side of things, where the buyout of your salary, it's like a year or 18 months depending on it, that's going to be ordinary income tax to you on your W-2. Now, your pension, a lot of times you'll have the opportunities to take a lump sum, but you roll that over to an IRA, so it's not taxable.
Okay.
You can take your 401k and roll that to an IRA as well, so that's not taxable. So looking at a tax plan, that's why it's so important to have a written financial plan. And as we've said many times on this show, we think there are 5 key areas to a successful financial plan. You've got to have an income plan, and an investment strategy, a taxation strategy, a health care plan, and an estate plan. And so when you do get a curveball like this, an offer to retire early, you can plug it into your plan and see if it makes sense. And everyone has their own version of retirement, what it looks like. Some people are snowbirds. Some people are going to go back and consult. 55 is a very young age.
Absolutely.
So I think as much as I would like to directly answer that question, John, come in and see us, and we can work through all the details.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 55 is very young, especially since I'm older than 55 now. But it's a very young, and you're right, maybe they want a second career. Maybe they want to do something different. And not knowing exactly what that situation is, we really can't answer that for you directly. But I definitely would say, you know, call the number, come on in. We'll create one of these plans specifically for you and anybody else out there that's in that situation. We know lately it seems like a cyclical thing. We've got the auto industries are constantly doing this. So if you are one of those people, don't do it alone. And for goodness sakes, don't necessarily listen to other family members. come on in,
Yeah.
talk to the professionals.
And why do these, at least in our area, the automotive companies offer these buyouts?
I don't know. Why do they?
Oh, good question. Essentially, if you've been there so long, your salary's escalated every year with basic raises or merit raises. And so the idea is if they can give you 1 year's salary, they can replace you with someone maybe 20 years younger at a much lower rate to do the same type of job. So you see this cycle every so many years in Metro Detroit of these companies wanting to lower their payroll a little bit.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for shedding some light on that. Adam, this next question I'm going to guide to you. This is Mindy G, and she is from West Bloomfield. She says, I'm retiring before the end of the year, and I'm weighing the possibility of a pension buyout. My company is offering me around $800,000 or an annuity that has several income options that I don't understand. Is this something that you guys deal with, and won't I get taxed right away if I take the buyout? Also, what will happen to my 401k?
Wow, there's a lot packed in there.
There's a lot to unpack there.
That's a great question, Mindy. Thank you very much for writing in to us. Again, we don't want to be like two talking heads that you see on television. So we're going to give you some generalizations, not something specific. I would recommend definitely calling the number and coming on in. We'll create a plan specifically for you. But let's talk generalizations on this. A pension buyout, as Jordan just talked about, is not taxable as long as you roll that over into an IRA. The other thing is regarding your 401k, or in general a 401k, that too can be rolled over into an IRA.
Well, this is the question that everyone says or kind of grapples with, to say, should I stay or should I roll? Right. Meaning, should I? Wasn't that a song?
Yeah. Should I stay or should I?
Yeah. Should I leave my money at my old employer, whether it be the pension and the 401k, or should I roll it to your own IRA? Yeah. And we always say roll it as long as you can get a better program than what they're offering, because you have control over it. Really, the tougher one is the pension. You have to look at the guaranteed payments that they would give you at her employer and say, what kind of payment could I get elsewhere? The difference is with that is most of the annuity programs through employers will have a benefit for you, and then your spouse will get a portion of that, and upon the second death, it's gone. Versus if you take that pension as a lump sum and put it in your own IRA, you can control your own income, and you can control, there are plans out there that actually, annuity plans that have death benefits when both you and your spouse are gone.
Wow.
Yeah, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush, right?
Absolutely.
You know what you have if you take the buyout, you know that physically that's your money, versus, well, what if, you sign up for an annuity and get run over by a bus the next day?
Yes.
Through the employer. So we've got to take a look at that whole plan in that situation. And again, I would have to say, come on in, get one of these. We'll customize this specifically for that situation, Mindy.
Well, gentlemen, I know we have a very special email from Barbara B. in Northville, but it's time for us to take a short commercial break. We'll get to Barbara's email next. Jordan, you have 5 components that you think about when you're designing a plan. Let's talk about what they are before we open up the phones and allow people
every
to choose.
successful financial plan needs an income plan, not an income guess. We've got to make sure we know where our income is coming from. We've got to have an investment strategy for the entire portfolio. We've got to look at a tax reduction plan. Make sure those taxes aren't eroding our retirement. Look for a health care plan as well. What are we going to do for Medicare, for long-term care? And we also need to have a solid estate plan so our assets aren't caught up in the courts when we pass away.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much. And Barbara, don't go away. Your email's coming up next. To our viewers at home, that number to call is 888-462-7839. Again, 888-462-7839. If you don't have a pen handy, go ahead, grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. What you're communicating for is basically the Maine Money Report. You want to have one of these customized just for you, especially in the retirement years. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to get right back into viewer emails. And as I mentioned, Barbara, this next one is yours. Stay tuned.
I started out actually going to college, and I was going to be a music teacher. I realized very early on, like at the end of my first semester, that it just was not for me. Fast forward many years later, my parents are educators. My dad quit being a teacher and became real estate and commercial real estate. And after I graduated college, I decided I would go and work for him. And what I really liked was helping people make money. And I realized that that was more my calling than actually selling real estate. So I ended up getting into the financial advising world. It was a big jump, but it was the fact that I was going to be helping people rather than selling people. And that makes a huge difference in my mind. I have enjoyed it tremendously. When you can tell a client, hey, guess what? You can retire. It's one of the best days of my life right there. It's not about my goals. It's not about my office's goals. It's about their goals. It's their money. We need to educate them in order for them to continue to live in a manner of which they become accustomed. Selling is terrible. Educating, getting people to understand why we need to do it this way and consult with them, that's the way to do it.
And welcome back to the Maine Money Show. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Maine, president of Maine Financial Group, and Adam Freund of CRC of Maine Financial Group, meaning Certified Retirement Counselor. I'm so excited to get this next email. I'm rushing through the opening. But here we go. This is Barbara B. in Northville. Barbara's asking, my current advisor won't tell me how to or even talk about Roth conversions.
Oh.
You've openly talked about Roth conversions on past shows, and I don't understand why how she refuses to give me some guidance on this. Is it because, as you all say, she's at a big box office? I can't see why they don't have some process in doing these Roth conversions. Can you please help?
Absolutely, Barbara. And as you know, Cynthia, I am a tax accountant as well as an investment advisor, so taxation is a passion of mine. And Roth conversions are so important, but yet they're very scary for a lot of advisors and for a lot of people to how do I do it? How do I calculate it? Well, we just unveiled a brand new tool, maintaxbill.com.
Yep.
And it's a calculator, Barbara, that you can go and input your data and see if a Roth conversion makes sense. And it's really easy. You don't have to put 4 components in there. Put her age,
yep,
the amount of money in the retirement account,
correct,
the tax bracket that she's in now,
yep,
and the whatever rate of return she wants to assume. And it will do a projection all the way, I think, through age 95, right?
Yep.
And it is so easy to use. And I just ran a couple right before we started here. So I went in and just took a general age 65-year-old person, had $500,000 in an IRA. There was a 25% assumed tax bracket, and I just assumed a 5% rate of return. And the report right away says if this person does anything or doesn't do anything with that IRA at 65 and lives to be 95, they'll have paid $487,000 in taxes on that $500,000 IRA.
Wow.
If they convert it right now at that same tax rate, it shows here $125,000 of tax paid versus $487,000. That's over a $360,000 savings by doing that Roth conversion now. So then I even went one up for someone that is 10 years younger. I ran someone at 55 years old that has $500,000, the same thing, an assumed liability of 25% tax bracket. I use 5%, but you can put whatever rate of return you want in there. And would you believe that $500,000 on a 55-year-old would have to pay taxes, the client, of $803,000.
Wow.
And versus right now, that same $125 if they convert it to a Roth now.
Wow.
That's a $680,000 tax savings.
Wow.
All figured out from this easy calculator at maintaxbill.com.
And Jordan,
Oh my
where do we
gosh.
think taxes are going?
Well, there are three things. They can go up, they can stay the same, or they can go down. Historically, we're in a very low tax environment for the last 30 or 40 years. Quick question, Cynthia. What was the highest? Well, it was 1944 was our highest tax bracket ever.
Ooh.
What was the percentage?
I'll go with 73%.
94% for anything over $200,000.
Okay.
And then they went down in the 60s. It was 80 in the 80s, I think,
Yep.
and then in the 70s around 70. But really, this last 30, 40 years, we've had very low taxes.
Wow.
So with the debt we have, there's a strong argument that taxes in the next 30 years need to go up, not down.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Barbara.
That was a great email. Yes, thank you, Barbara. Adam, this next one is for you. This is Jason. Jason from Warren. This is really cute, Adam. I am 10 years old, and I enjoy watching your show with my dad. I think the bald guy is funny.
Hey!
That's what he said. He says that he will give me $100 to buy some stocks, but I have to do the research. What would you do? What would you do if you had $100? That's so cute. What would you do if you had $100? And I think the bald guy is funny. I'm not making that up. That's what it says.
Bald guy's funny.
That's what it says.
Listen, Timmy. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. No, Jason, what's that?
Funny like a clown.
Funny like a clown. Jason, again, we're not going to give specific what you should buy, specific advice on investments. But let me tell you a story first. When I was about 12 or 13 years old, my grandfather got me some Procter & Gamble stock. Procter & Gamble is a company that produces Crest toothpaste, Pampers, Gillette, shaving oil of Olay, and he got that for me. And what that did is they also gave me a dividend check. So every quarter I would get maybe $1 check in the mail from that company. And it also sent out this big prospectus at the end of the year, and I would look through and I would see like Tide written in Japanese or something like that, because Procter & Gamble was all over the world. The best advice I ever had from anybody, and that was my grandfather, is invest in things that you know, that you like. For instance, if you like there's this famous burger place that has these golden, I think they call them arches, and you like, let's say, their cheeseburger, and they give you a dividend. When you go into that place with the golden arches and you're seeing everybody take a bite of that cheeseburger, a little teeny penny of that cheeseburger is going towards you because they give you dividends. And when you're in that place, look to see what everybody's drinking. Is it a name brand that maybe have a red and white bottle that starts with a C and ends with an oak? That is possible. So you kind of have to invest in that way, especially at the beginning when you are as young as you are. Kudos to you and kudos to your dad too. So thank you, even though you think I'm bald.
Quick story on the McDonald's, the Golden Arches. So when my grandfather passed away, he had left all of us grandkids a few $1,000s, and I decided to put it into an account for my son, who was just a little tyke that loved McDonald's. So we bought McDonald's stock.
Really?
And just this last year, Jacob, who is going to be a sophomore at Michigan State, but he went to his freshman year at Michigan State, and that McDonald's stock we sold, and he paid for the first year at Michigan State.
Oh, my word. What a beautiful story.
Well, there you go, Timmy.
That is
Jason.
amazing. Well, we have so many more emails to get through, but this is the perfect time for us to take another commercial break. Would you both agree?
Sure.
All right. To our viewers at home, there's a number to call on your screen. That number is 888-462-7839. What you're calling in for today is a complimentary consultation to design the Maine Money Report with this team. Let them get to know you. Let them ask questions about your goals, your dreams, and your hopes for retirement. They realize that no two answers will be exactly alike, and that's why they take the time to really customize this report. It's completely complimentary. All you have to do is one thing, which is pick up the phone and call in, 888-462-7839. Or if you don't have a pen handy, go ahead, grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to the landing page for Maine Financial Group, and you can claim your spot accordingly. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to dive into more of the viewer emails, and the next one that we uncover could be yours. Stay tuned.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. the one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
And welcome back to the Maine Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Maine, president of Maine Financial Group, and Adam Freund, CRC at Maine Financial Group. And viewers, as you know, this show is all about you, but you're probably wondering one thing. How do I get in touch with these gentlemen? Where do I send my email? Adam, take it away. How can people reach you?
Sure. You go to team@mfgwm.com. That's Maine Financial Group Wealth Management.com. team@mfgwm.com. We would love to do it. We'll sift through them. And I promise you, the next time we're in the studios, we'll do another email show just for you guys.
I think you're going to need to, because you're taking Michigan by storm. Okay, Jordan, this next one is for you. This is Connie S. from Royal Oak. She would like to know, I'm 65, single, and recently retired. I am considering putting a fair amount of my retirement money into a variable annuity recommended by my bank advisor. However, I keep hearing that annuities are bad. Is this true? And if so, what do you recommend I do?
Well, I always say, and we joke a little bit about this, but it's seriously, people ask us, are annuities good or bad? And I say, yes. Just like if you say, are cars good or bad? Well, yes, depending on which car and what model and what the objective of that car is. Like, a farmer shouldn't buy a Corvette, right? And a speed racer shouldn't buy a pickup truck. So you have to buy the right vehicle that suits your needs. But the one across the board that we have blinking red problems is a variable annuity. Yes. And I think if I heard you right, that was the one on the email that Connie is considering.
Yes, recommended by her bank advisor.
Exactly. A variable annuity is essentially an annuity that's full of mutual funds. And we talked earlier on a show previously about the cost inside of mutual funds. Not only do we have cost of mutual funds in a variable annuity, there are other costs, maintenance costs, administrative costs, M&E costs. Very expensive vehicle, and also can go up and down with the market. You know, the original goal of annuities was for safety and protection and income. And the variable annuity was created in the late 70s, early 80s, I think around the ERISA time when the 401k kind of came to life. And all these dollars were going into mutual funds, and the insurance companies created this thing called variable annuity to capture a lot of those. But they're kind of a thing of the past. There are a lot of other great annuities, like a fixed indexed annuity, where you can use stock market indexes for growth, but you've got a floor that it can't go backwards. So I would say definitely explore annuities. Come see us, Connie, but we will not even show you a variable annuity. We don't believe in those.
Okay. Yeah, and we can actually do a sub-report, a subset report in our Maine Money report that actually will tell you exactly what those fees are, how much you're paying. And typically, I have to say that we normally see it around 3 to 5% annually.
Wow.
So that means if you're showing a 15% loss, that really meant that you had a 12% loss, but they added that 3% fee onto it. So
correct.
Not a very good product.
No, thank you so much for sharing that. Adam, this next one is for you. This is Michael H. from Livonia. It says, my wife and I are fast approaching age 60, and we don't have a plan in place for retirement. We both work and make a good living. We've saved a fair amount of money in the bank, and we both want to keep working. I have a fairly large 401k, and my wife has an equally large 403b. Our question is, what do we need to do to get a plan in place, and when should we do a rollover?
Oh, my goodness. What a great question, Michael H. Sorry.
Michael H.
Well, Michael, the first thing I'm going to tell you again is we're not going to give you specific advice, because that would not meet the fiduciary standards that both Jordan and I adhere to and are licensed as, meaning that we have to make the best recommendations based on what is good for you, not necessarily what is good for us. Having said all of that, you are at the perfect age right now to do what we call in-service rollovers. In-service rollovers mean that you can keep working where you're working, And as long as your plan allows you to do this, you can actually roll that money out, take control of your money, and put it into an IRA. And as long as it goes from the 401k, or I think he said the 403b.
Yep, there's both.
And it goes into the IRA, that is not a taxable event. So you will not get taxed on that. It also gives you so much more control and so much more options to have, rather than just going with the laundry list that your organization that offers you in your 401k or 403b. So it's very important. I would definitely say give us a call. Let us create a plan specifically for you. And listen, if you have one of the best plans that we've ever seen before, we're going to tell you. We're not going to just take it just to do it.
I want to jump in on that one as well. So I believe it says he's approaching 60 or approaching retirement.
60.
And he's going to continue to work. You know, every dollar that we put into these 401ks are just an IOU to the IRS, right? It's a tax bomb that's going to continue to grow. Now, usually companies have a match, which is like free money. Maybe it's 2 or 3%. We like to put dollars in up to that match to take advantage of that free money, but we really don't want to compound our future tax problems, especially when we're so close to retirement. I would say definitely look at some Roth 401ks and some reallocate some of those dollars to after-tax type of strategies.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, great. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Jordan, this next one is for you. This is Sam J. from Brighton. I find your show very informative and fact-based. Both my husband and I are doctors in our 40s. We max out our 403bs and we invest outside of our retirement funds with another firm. However, we don't believe that we have enough going towards retirement and are very concerned about future taxes on these 403bs. Is there anything alternative or something else that we could be doing? We have a minute left. I'm sorry to give you no time to answer.
No, I understand that, and we see this a lot. They want to catch up. They've kind of maybe been behind. They want to save more than the limitations of these 401ks, and then they're worried about taxes going forward. I would look at what we refer to as LIRPs, life insurance retirement plans. A lot of physicians and professional athletes use these. You need to be healthy and wealthy. You can stuff a lot of money into it. There aren't income limitations, and all the dollars you can take out in the form of tax-free loans, and there's a death benefit for your family. So we would have to do a lot of research with Sam and her husband, right? Sam. But those are definitely one thing to look at.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, as you can see, we wanted to spend today on just your questions, and we're going to keep continuing this because we hear from you, and I love it. That number to call is 888-462-7839 for your customized Maine Money Report. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today, and keep those emails coming. Talk to you soon.